doing this hike, the Dales Highway. It goes from Saltaire to Appleby in Westmoreland. Okay, catch you later. This is the 12 Apostles Stone Circle. How's that for you, Dad? Did Dick satisfy you?
Yeah, much better now, mate. I'll do another 10 more now.
Bloody hell. Look at that.
How about that then, matey? Whoa,
Whoa, whoa.
that's absolutely brilliant.
Morning, Dad.
Morning, Dave.
Now, this is a guidebook I bought, A Dales Highway, that they really have put their heart and soul into this route, and you can't get a better place for hiking and wild camping than the Yorkshire Dales, really. It's excellent. Well, we've raided the co-op. We went in the pub for a beer.
Castle Brown.
Lovely. How's your sandwich?
Very nice, thank you.
Whee! It's about 2:30. It is. It's 2:20. Dandelions are right. Well, we've just been in Busy Lizzie's and had fish chips, mushy peas, bread and butter, 10 cups of tea and a pint of water. Oh, that was a steep climb out of Skipton. And then we climbed up onto this sharp haul where we're camped in the coal there. So you can see where we were last night, between those two hills, one on the right, one on the left, behind the woods, and we've come down from there, down this track, and now we're heading into a tiny little hamlet down here, along this old little lane.
It's Monday wash.
It is Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's gorgeous along here, along the way to Hetton. Cheers.
There you go.
Right, hey, come on then, Dad. When we had a fantastic sausage roll here in the
certainly have.
Angel in Hetton.
And a nice bowl of soup.
Blooming great, yeah.
Yeah.
Crab soup, fantastic.
Really good, yeah.
Cheers then. And a couple of pints of local beer.
Of course, why not?
Brewed just down the road.
You don't go into a pub without having a local beer,
No.
do you?
Oh, let's get my boots off for 5 minutes. Oh, that's better. Got an R on that one, so I know that that's the right foot. So that I know that this is my right foot, and an L on there, so I know that's my left foot. So I don't get them crossed over. The incredible Gordale Scar. Hey, thanks a lot. Yeah, very nice.
You've got your camera, haven't you?
Yeah, I have,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I've not left it behind yet. A meal in the Book Inn, Malham, and we were pretty pleased with that, weren't we? Yeah, yeah. And
Point of Timothy Taylor's.
now it's about 7 o'clock now, and we're going a quarter of a mile up the road, put the tents up as the weather is still absolutely gorgeous. Morning, campers. Oh, get a cup of tea on the go.
Oh, there yet?
Oh, not too far to go.
Up to the nearest pub.
Having a pint in Settle now. Good morning. We're on a caravan and camping site, and it's at Little Stainforth, north of about 3 miles north of Settle. So this morning we're not going to go up Ingleborough. We're going to try and walk to Ribble Head. Right, cheers. Finish this coffee off and get cracking. Now we're approaching the little hamlet of Fazor. Could be a cafe here, so I just fancy a nice soft egg sandwich. Cheese. Good evening. Here we are in Ribble Head, but we've had the best meal you could probably get anywhere. I mean, homemade steak pie, huge chunks of steak, beautiful fresh vegetables, lovely gravy. Oh, it was really nice. But, yeah, so we've done about 12 miles today, and we've had 3 pints and a whiskey in the bar.
Naughty boy.
Right, the sun is setting. I'll take you outside and show you now. And you can see the Ribblehead Viaduct over there, look. Anyway, that's an amazing view. I wanted to wild camp, but of course Dad's 83, and he just, after 12 miles with the backpack, he didn't want to go any further. I don't blame him. Anyway, bedtime now. Let's find out what Dad's up to. And we're on our way to Dent now. A bit of big breakfast, wasn't it, Dad? We could hardly eat it.
Well, I couldn't get through mine.
Clever boys in them days when they built that, don't they?
So that's it, we've been in the Dent stores and doubled the weight of our rucksacks.
We are.
Just for 1.5 more days walking. I'll just give you a little show around the gear we're using. My pack weighs about 10.5 kilos with a couple of days of spare food, and Dad's weighs 9.5 kilos with some food. So I've got my Edgesmax ultralight sleeping bag that weighs about 550 grams. I'm really pleased with this. It lofts excellent. I've used it on about 6 nights now, and it's good for me personally. Everybody's different, but anything below 7 degrees it's not brilliant, a bit cold. Above that, nice and toasty. And then I've got a light wave pack that weighs about 1.4 kilos, light wave rucksack. Still using my old Thermarest insulated 3/4 length mat. A little pillow. These are 10 quid off eBay. They're all the same, but they're all branded differently. Mine's a Trekology. And my trusted old Helium 100 tent. Still using that. Might get another one for next year. I know these are massively heavy boots, but this is the 4th pair I've had in 35 years. Scarpa, the top of the range leather boot. I'm loving them, even in this warm weather. A good pair of wool socks. My feet are not getting hot in them, and yeah, I'm growing to love these. I've had them about 15 months now, and I like them. They're good. You don't feel nothing under your feet, and they're very waterproof, even though they haven't got a Gore-Tex lining. Anything else on my side? My little titanium pot with a 300 gas cylinder in it. There's a 700ml titanium pot. I like that with a tiny, my tiny little BRS 18-gram stove. They're cheap on Amazon. That's good. I like it. It's good. It weighs nothing, and everything else is just my rubbish, really. And Dad's finally got used to this gear top tent. 85 quid, weighs about just over 800 grams off of Amazon. You get a lot of condensation, but as Dad says, it's handy for having a wash in the mornings. You just wipe the condensation off with a little sponge and you can wash yourself over with all the moisture. Takes a bit of pitching. It doesn't come with this. You use a pole. It doesn't come with this guy rope, so we've attached the guy rope to the loop on the pole handle and pulled it down this way. I can't see as it'd stay up without that. I wouldn't trust it in high winds at all, but if you're lucky enough with the weather, the weight, 85 quid, you can get away with it. And this is a good sleeping mat. It's not insulated. It's a Climate brand, about 40 quid. It's good. Dad likes it. It's quite deep. It comes with these sections like that. It's good. It's comfortable. I think that's about it. So that's our setup for tonight, with these fantastic views and continuing excellent weather. Right, we'll be going off for a meal soon at the Sun Inn, so great stuff. So this morning we left the station inn at the Ribblehead Viaduct. We went up by Bleemore sidings, over the aqueduct, and steeply uphill to level off towards Wold End. Then we drop down a good track from Wold End all the way down Deepdale Beck and into Dent, where we got to about 4 o'clock. We didn't leave until 10 this morning, and we've had a very relaxing late afternoon, early evening, where we've had a meal in the sun in, which was pretty good food. And tomorrow we'll be leaving Dent, rising up over Longmoor, Longstone Fell, and I'll just turn the water off because that's bored. I'm going to have a hot chockey, yes. So tomorrow, yeah, and dropping back to the map, dropping down, that's what you get after a beer and a whiskey, dropping down into Sedbergh, and then we won't be going over the Howgills. We'll be taking the alternative low level route, and hopefully we're going to Wild Camp up a little beck around here somewhere, leaving us with 5 or 6 miles into Ravenston on Saturday, where my wife Helen will be picking us up as she's visiting a friend at Kenneth. So that's us. So see you in the morning. Morning. We're back on the trail again this morning. Just left the village a few minutes ago, only a short distance from there, and walking along by the side of the river, and this absolutely gorgeous field of full of buttercups. Look at that, beautiful, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen so many buttercups in a field. That's the Howgills, and Sedbergh is just at the foot of those. We'll be going round them though, because Dad can't manage to get up those tops, but there is an official diversion, and that's what we'll be taking. Get on, leave you to it while we're on holiday. Let's go up this side, look, Dad. Anyway, we're having a cappuccino we're near that waterfall. I don't know what it's called. What's it called, Dad? That waterfall? Cauldron Spout? I'm not sure it is. Anyway, we're in this valley. I'll look it up later. And it's our last night and we're wild camping. And we're just out of view of the houses, apart from that one right up on the hillside over there. We're not put the tents up yet. It must be about 5:30, 5:45. It's there's a strong wind keeps blowing. But we've got about 6 or 7 miles to do to Ravenstone, and that's where we're ending our walk. One day short of finishing the whole thing. Really, because I've got to get back to look after my bees before I go back to work. Unfortunately. There you go. Never mind, it's been a good week's walk. Oh, out of the tent. Oh. Oh, I did get out in the night for a wee.
Where did your zip go?
Yeah, you could see all the stars and everything. Oh, get the kettle on. So yesterday we left Dent and down the little road, a beautiful little walk along the river there. Then over the bridge, turn left up a little lane, climbing up through this beautiful, really old farm here, where we were lucky enough to talk to a guy that worked on the farm who was very interesting, told us you know, things about what's going on the farm and stuff. And then we followed this lane and a track over this moor, and the views from there, Long Moor, I think were probably the best views of the whole walk out towards the Lake District and the How Gills. And then then we dropped down the moor side, followed a little lane which became a road, which was a bit dangerous walking along there, over the bridge, and we turned immediately right and along the river. We didn't go into Sedbergh because we didn't have cause to, and by the time we'd got into Sedbergh it would have used up a couple of hours. So then we followed the banks of the river. I'll get to the right page for you. Following the banks of the river and eventually rising away from the river along the steep hillside, and it was a gorgeous track all the way through. And again we spoke to a few farmer, a couple of guys tending worming the sheep, I think they were, at a farm where we had a very strange experience. A Range Rover pulled up with a lady in it, and she got out in her fake PVC trousers and bejewelled
bejewelled high 6-inch high heel shoes and a flouncy blouse and a long nail extensions, and immediately said, "You'll be ill drinking that water," after we'd asked the farmer if we could take some water from an outside tap, and he said, "Yeah, no problem." And she just continued to go on about how bad the water was, and straight away we just thought, well, she's just an odd bod, and she wants to take it out on us because she thinks we're stealing her water. Anyway, we asked the farmers again when we went through by the sheep, and they said no, that water's safer to drink than the water out your tap. It's from a tank on the hillside. Anyway, so we thought we'd be all right, and that's that little story out of the way. But a strange lady indeed. So we continue to follow this absolutely amazing track. I mean, don't think by any means that going along using the alternative route around the Howgill Fells is a secondary choice to going over the top. It is an amazing route along there, and you know, in fact, it's probably a lot more interesting. You don't get, than going over the top. Certainly, it was a lot more sheltered and lovely and warm. So, and then we came to Courtley Holme Beck, which is where we are now. We camped there. We've camped here overnight in view of what's probably Courtley Spout, which is an incredible waterfall. I mean, if you went over the tops, you'd certainly miss that. I mean, it is amazing. And I've never been here before, but Dad's been once or twice. And so today we shall continue on the alternative route. And I think it mentions something about crossing a ford here in the book, but there's actually a bridge, a footbridge there now. It's not a... Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one, sorry. No, forget that, that's the wrong bit. Anyway, so we'll continue along the alternative route, eventually come into this little lane where we shall continue on the lane down into Ravensden Dale, and we're going to treat ourselves to a nice meal at the Black Swan there, and my wife Helen has kindly come in to pick us up, but unfortunately I've got to drive home. Oh, I was going to have a few more pints of beer, but she said, "You've been drinking beer all week, you don't need any more." So there you go, I've been told. Right, so yep, going to have my breakfast in a minute. Posh pork and beans. We've had a bit of porridge and I'm having a cup of tea, and then we'll be on our way. Right, I'll catch you later. Well, the weather's made the walk, really.
The weather's made it, yeah.
Dry enough to
Miserable,
sit out.
Cold
and...
weather, rain, it wouldn't have been half as nice, would it?
No, no. Not doing too many miles as well, really, I suppose. At the end of the day, it's made it better.
If you'd been on your own or somebody younger,
yeah,
you would have completed the whole walking by now.
Oh, yeah, I would have done, yeah.
I think my eyesight slowed me down as well on the rocky, when it's stoning, because I've got to be careful where I put my feet.
Yeah.
I don't want to go and fall over.
No. How old are you?
I am not saying, David. Oh, you've got that working, have you?
I'm too old. Most people would say, bloody hell, you managed that at your age.
How old are you then, Dave?
59. Nearly 60
well,
in a couple of weeks.
I've got a son 59, you work out how old I am.
Right, we're all packed up, and as they say, leave no trace.
That's it.
Look, we haven't left a thing. We've put the little stones that we used to hold the cooking stove, we've put that back in the river where we got them from. So, yeah, my dad, right, so that's it. Off we go.
Off we jolly well go.
Off we go. Yes, off we jolly well go. Yes, this way. Morning, guys. It's a great track along here. Sit in the porch. I wonder how many people have sat in here all them years ago. Sitting in here, getting your boots off. I know, it's a bit remote, isn't it? They probably hardly ever went anywhere. Once a week to the market.
This is the place I'd like to live.
Ah. You mean instead of on the modern housing estate?
Look down to bloody Aldi.
Yeah.
Well, that one of the worst bits up there, I think.
Yeah, yes. Whew. Most people that do the Dales Highway must go over the tops. There's not many people come along here, is there?
No.
And that other section was a good bridle path that's used by a lot of people, mountain bikers,
Well,
more accessible.
you go over the hill, George, from Sedberg, don't you? You don't come along that track at all where we come.
No,
You go from the
that's
town.
right, yeah. That's a nice view along the track through that window, look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Round the door there. There wasn't a door
Yeah.
there, was there? Nothing there.
Yeah, would have been a door there, probably a door here as well. Hey, it looks like that's about to collapse up there, look, oh my god. Look at that. Like the whole thing looks like it's going to crack. That stone's cracked, look at that.
Yeah, it's wedged in on the other way.
Oh! Right, do you think we'd better get on our way? We're not moving in, we're ready to go. Go on then.
We're going to put a price in for it later.
Yeah, yeah. Not bad, is it? We've done the walk, haven't we? We had a fantastic week.
Yeah, it's been great.
We've arrived here in Ravenstone Dale.
Now ready for a beer. And
Yeah.
something to eat.
I'm waiting for Helen to come and pick us up.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. Cheers.
So tell me then, how far have you walked?
Well, we think we've walked about 82 miles. We haven't done the whole route because we've missed off the last day from Ravenstone Dale to Appleby in Westmoreland.
And how's it been? What's the weather been like?
Well, it's raining now and we've been extremely lucky. How many times can you go on a week's walking holiday and every day you can put the tent up and lay in the grass and it's not wet. The sun's shone every single day. It's been gorgeous.
And accommodation? What's your accommodation been like?
The first 2 nights we well camped, then the next night a campsite, then we stopped
Ribblehead.
a Ribblehead bunkhouse,
and then another campsite in Dent, and the last wild camp at Courtley's Spout. So 3 wild camps, 2 camps, 3 campsites and a bunkhouse.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And are you now excited to be going back home?
Yes. Get on a proper
I'm
bed.
I'm looking forward to going home, but I'm not looking forward to going back to work. I've got
And how are you getting home? Tell me your arrangements
well,
for getting home.
my lovely wife Helen has kindly come and picked us up because because we weren't doing the last bit to where the railway stations at Appleby and Westmoreland. It was working a bit awkward. And kind of in a way we're lucky because we've had 7 glorious days and now it's raining today.
Maybe it was the correct thing to do, because looking at the weather now, it's raining and it wouldn't be very nice camping.
No. So, what did you think of the Dales Highway as a hike?
I would recommend it as possibly one of the best hikes in the UK. It's got everything. It goes through the most perfect countryside. You've got a town every day or a large village where you can get supplies, and for me personally, because I wanted to wild camp, you can wild camp just about anywhere. There's lots of convenient locations along the route that you could wild camp, plus there's campsites and plenty of accommodation, and you know there's cafes and stuff. You know it's a fantastic walk, and the couple that planned it, I think this year it's 10 years old. This trail, the Dales Highway, and you can just tell that they put so much into the walk. You know, they considered a lot of things, and it must have taken them a lot of time and effort to research the routes and make sure that they're all okay.
Right, your chariot awaits.
Thank you
Backpack
very
on
much.
for the last walk.
Thank you very much, Ellen.
Yes,
Right,
you're welcome.
We'll get the packs on.
Packs on for the last time.
Hold on.